Thank you so much for watching this performance of Soldier's March from Faust, written by Charles Gounod, arranged by J. Michael Roy. I want to give you a couple of pointers and maybe a couple of things to look out for while you're practicing to help take your performance to the next level. The first thing is the tempo of this piece is written as tempo di marcia. And that tempo is a march tempo, but we really aren't sure how fast or slow. I chose to play this at 112 beats per minute, being a more relaxed pace of a march. But even try walking at the speed at which you want to play this and determine, is it too slow or is it too fast? Now this piece also has accompaniment on the piano. So you'll want to also work with your accompanist to find a comfortable tempo for the two of you. Another thing you'll want to worry about with this piece is the wide range of dynamics. We have to play as soft as piano and at the very end as loud as fortissimo, 4 or 3 Fs. That's a lot of dynamic range, and we want to be careful that we're not hurting ourselves by overextending our playing, as well as damaging the drum by hitting it so hard. So you may have noticed when I got to the loudest, I tried to relax, and I tried to pull the stick back and use as loose of a technique as possible so that the stick could rebound naturally without causing any damage. But ultimately, we want to focus on making sure our dynamics are the full range of dynamics and that we don't play our softs too loud and we don't play our louds too soft. I choose to move around the instrument where I will play my softer dynamics at the edge to produce less tone on the drum, and I'll play my louder dynamics in the center of the drum to produce more tone. And using that is a great tool to help bring out your dynamics more. However, you have to practice where exactly your dynamics are located, otherwise you'll have issues with consistency in your performance. So watch out for the dynamics as you're working through this piece. The other thing is, whatever tempo you play, how are your rolls sounding? I noticed for me at 112 beats per minute, that dotted quarter note roll was a little bit too slow to play 4 notes or 4 hands within the roll, and it was a little too fast for me to play 6 notes in the hand. So I ended up going with 5s, groups of 5 for my hands, but that's something you'll need to experiment with on your drum and at the tempo that you're playing. And then when we play those faster rolls, like the little 8th note rolls, starting at B, we want to make sure that we're moving quick enough to get those notes out. I ended up doing just 2 hands for each of those 8th note rolls. Lastly, when we get to the end of this piece, starting at D, it's going to be loud. It's going to be fortissimo, but from D all the way to the end, it only gets louder. So make sure you're staying relaxed. Make sure you're not overexerting when you play these loud dynamics. And then be careful at E when we get to the faster rhythms that you're not losing the integrity of the 16th note, because some of these rhythms are really tricky at a slower tempo and at a faster tempo. But we want to make sure that we're always honest about our subdivision and that we're always relaxed so that we don't overexert or cause any pain to our arms or our wrists. And lastly, I'll say have fun with this. This is great accompaniment with this, and if you can, try to listen to the original performance of Soldier's March. Listen to it in its full arrangement on either YouTube or Spotify or iTunes, wherever you can find it. Enjoy that so that you can have a better understanding of what is the music that you're playing. And when you get to play with an accompanist, make sure that you're communicating with them and make sure you're set up in a way that you can hear the piano and the piano can hear you and you can see each other so that everything can flow as beautifully as possible. So I hope that you've gotten something out of these little tips today, and I hope you have a wonderful time, and I wish you all the best as you perform Soldier's March by Charles Gounod.